By the time I get in talking, it'll be 7 o'clock. It's time to call the meeting to order. DeWild.
Here.
Chisman.
Present.
Thompson.
Here.
McSparron.
Here.
Mitchell.
Here.
All present and accounted for. All right, so we're going to open the budget hearing. And before you have your budget copies, turn to page, okay. It's back here, it doesn't have a page number on there.
Thanks, let's take that.
One on expenditures. It says government activities continued on the top of the left. Everybody got it? Where we've got $16,000 in the clerk, treasurer, finance administration. We need to move that down to 13. You remember in our meeting, we moved it up to 16 to cover the entire cost. But the other part of the cost is taken up in water, you know, to get for water and sewer and some of those other things. So we can move money down, we can make the budget less, we can't make it any higher than what we did, but we're gonna take $3,000, so that's gonna read, that's line 47 is gonna read $13,000.
13,500. We have one there? It's a 16.
13,508, right.
Well, I don't have an 8.
Well, I do a blue line through it, because it's just 13,600, it's gonna be 13,500. And so that's gonna make the total down here, where it says 4280, it's gonna be $3,000 less than that, so it's gonna be 39,300. Right, is that right? 42 minus 3,500, minus 3,000, is going to be 39,800, right? Okay, all right. I don't think there's anything else as I'm going through here.
I have several questions,
Okay,
whenever you're ready.
yeah. Okay,
Okay, the first thing was, the ambulance, we took off 2,000 for the ambulance, but I
Right.
understand the ambulance is a complete separate entity from the fire department, they're the first responders.
right.
So I don't know that we can really take away their money, because we'll still have to pay for the ambulance fund is what I've heard.
We can't put it back on this budget. What we'll have to do is, when the fire department is separate, and we do a budget amendment, to take part of that money that will save on insurance and that stuff, and we can put it in the ambulance fund. But we can make this budget lower, but we can't make it any higher.
So here's my question, if there's not enough saved from the insurance, where's that money gonna come from?
Well, the thing is, we've got the insurance, plus we have $20,000 in here for the fire department.
But we can't, that's money we have to give them anyway for
No,
fire
no,
protection.
no.
We have to pay for fire,
Yeah,
that's the
but
tax
our
money.
part is only gonna be about $8,000. That's what they told me. And that's what Heather figured out in the thing. So we're gonna save money there.
Will this be one entity, because all of the townships that are involved are gonna have to pay part of it too. So we don't pay the
So
whole thing.
I know we don't pay the whole tax.
Everybody's supposed to pay the same amount based on, they were going on, it was a 60.8% of your taxable value, but that's not the figure that the state uses. And so each one are gonna have to pay about $8,000. And so everybody pays the same. So there's gonna be a savings there that we'll be able to budget.
I just wanna make sure that that will be covered, because if they're a separate entity, then we can't not
Right.
pay them.
No, there'll be, so we had $20,000 in there now, which we had to put it in there. But if that goes through, then we will save some money there. And on the insurance, and there'll be enough that we can go budget amendment to transfer it into that account.
Okay.
Okay?
Then I had some questions. I understand, in the past years, the cemetery board had been, hadn't used all the money. They had about 8,000 several years ago, and it's been reduced to accommodate, because mostly all they had was mowing. And we just raised the money for the cemetery board. But if they've not been using it, was there something they're planning to use it for? Because I'm wondering if we couldn't put that towards, say, the trees in the park that need to be repaired instead of the cemetery fund.
The cemetery fund, they haven't been getting all the money that the budget has been in the budget. That's my understanding. That they never, we may have said 6,000 or 8,000, whatever that number was, but they never actually got that much money. All we did basically was pay for the mowing, if I remember. So that's why they need, we're catching up, we're getting closer, but we're not to the point now that they actually have as much money as they should have. That's been going on for long time since before I got here. I mean, about eight years or so, probably maybe more. But, so we've been catching up a little bit every year, and part of that we raise is will go to their expenses, but the rest of it will go to trying to catch up into the amount, because they barely, if you could get a lot more people dying and fill the cemetery, we could, but other than that, that's their only source of income, is what they get from the funeral plots and that, and what we get them.
So besides the mowing and rock, what other
Well, the rock could
expenses
probably
are
be,
going? I'm just asking.
there could
Well,
be,
if we'd like to have tubes put in for drainage,
so the water would run off.
for the water to run,
Most of the road
and
out.
it erodes a lot, and we need rock constantly.
Okay, I'm just curious, because if I was just checking from what I've been told from past, so. Okay.
But I remember my first budget we did here, when we talked about it before, that went back, that it's been a number of years since the cemetery has actually gotten their full amount of money. And so they put things off and not done that need to be done. And as far as that goes. So that's why we raised it, and we're getting closer to breaking even. Okay? Paul shakes his head. Okay, anything else?
Probably.
Okay.
Okay, so I was reading through here, and I'm just curious, because I know like there's the water, air, and the mosquito control, and I think, I'm just asking, because I know we have to do water testing and fees like that. Does that come with the water bills and in that area, or would that go under here in the water, air, and mosquito control? I'm guessing that's for like pollution and that, but I'm just wanting to clarify.
Part of it goes there, part of it comes from the water account.
Okay.
Because our water account is supposed to pay for Dave's part of the salary that's in there, for Roberta's part of the salary, plus the other things that have to be taken care of, like when a water main breaks or something like that. So there's more money in there. We hope that it's enough, and it has been so far, but that's something that,
Because I just wondered, because there wasn't anything there in that section that kind of concerned me, so I didn't know if we'd have to look at that in the future, that it might need to be.
well, if something was to come up, yes, we might have to have a budget and transfer some money from someplace.
And then along that line too, I know that we have to pay the fees for the water tower, like the radio, I don't know how all that stuff works out, but there's fees we have to pay. And I just wasn't sure if that was all looked at in here, because
It all goes in under that water and all those kind of things. We have a miscellaneous fund there. Some of that stuff that we don't have an actual line item for. If it comes up, then we can pay it out of it. But we have to explain miscellaneous. You can't just put down miscellaneous expense. You have to put miscellaneous expense and what it actually went for.
okay.
The one question I had till I read through the whole thing was the fact that we're spending $27,500 on culture and recreation.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I thought we're really pretty cultured, but that's, if you go back through here,
It's library and
yeah,
museum and everything.
it's the library services, a museum, band, and theater. We have one more payment of $1,500 on our 5-year 28E agreement, and so that'll come this year. The parks, $3,000 to cover Dave's mowing and those kind of things. And the community center, the zoo, and the marina, we don't have anything in there anymore. The cemetery, $8,000, and we have $1,000 in there that's been in there for a long time. Other culture and recreation, we've used it for when we had the 4th of July.
The picnic in the park.
Picnic in the park, and we sometimes donated to the corn carnival for their fireworks. So it's there that we may not use it. Like, I don't believe we use it this year. So So, but that's where that money comes from.
So does this include the increase from the water bills that were supposed to take effect or
No.
not?
But that doesn't, we can't know exactly what that number's going to be. It's just the sewer bills, not the water bill,
Well,
it's just your
excuse me,
sewer
sorry,
part.
so-
Yeah. That, when we figure out, when we know what the loan is actually going to be, we have a $300,000 grant, which for first $300,000 of this total, we don't, that comes out of the grant. Then whatever the loan is after that, when we know what that total amount is, then we'll have to sit down, we'll have to raise the sewer rates so that we have enough money when it comes to the end of every year to pay that. But we don't know what that's going to be.
So this doesn't even include the bill that we'll have to pay for the sewer then either?
Well, for the last sewer, yes.
But not the one that's.
But not the one that's not finished
Because
yet.
that will have to be on this.
That one, if they were done today, which they're not, that would be next year, like December, I think is when the payment comes due, that we would have to pay that. So we'll have time to build that money up. For the last one, we raised it $10.68 special assessment for this first part of the sewer. And if I remember right, our final loan amount was close to $300 and some thousand. This one will be significantly less than that because the bids actually came in under the estimates. So, but it's possible, I just said I'm gonna look at it, whether we want to raise it 1 year, like $5.
Right, I know we have to decide.
And then do the
amount.
next one $5, and then the next one's whatever we need to do it, if we have enough, do it, or just do it, bite the bullet and just raise it all at one time.
So how will that work? Will we have to amend this then, once that's all?
That's
said
sort
and
of
done?
separate from the budget, our regular budget has to do with the amount of money that we take in and we spend on those regular projects. The sewer project is sort of another entity, but it's figured, the one we're on now is figured in here, but the new one is not.
Okay.
Because we won't have to pay anything that until the budget is, the next one. So next year at this time, we have to have that number in there, what we're gonna do.
Because the next one will be 1780.
Yes, which is hard to believe.
I guess that doesn't, because it seems like we would still have to pay on it in this fiscal year, so
No.
that's why I just.
Not till it's done. Like the first one, if they started it before June, then we would have to make a partial payment in December, but if not, then it would be the following December. So I think we've only made one, two, yeah, for the first one. So that's the same way with this one. They're about to finish, probably by the end of this month. They'll probably be done. And so they're done, and all the gobbledygook we have to go through to close the thing and do all that kind of stuff. So our first payment is probably not gonna be due until 2017 in December, 18 in December. But it won't be included in this budget, it would be on the next one. This is 16, 17,
June 30, I
17.
see, it ends June 30, that's what I was
Yeah,
looking at,
right.
okay.
So, yeah. Any other questions?
Are you taking questions from the public yet?
Anybody that has a question?
Okay. Where is how much money is in the special assessment fund from the sewer? Because there's been, is it 2 rate hikes already?
No, just one.
Just one?
Well, they did an overall water rate hike before we started this, because remember before you got charged for 1,000, you got charged for 1,000, the third month you got charged for 8,000 over that.
Mm-hmm.
So we changed that, so that we read the meters every year, every month,
Okay.
and then they raised the water rates when that happened before we started the sewer project or anything,
Right, so in the sewer fund?
right now.
Right. Where,
We have $10.68 a month from each sewer
Okay.
user goes into a fund as far as, so that last year the payment was what, $23,000 with this last one? It's in that neighborhood, it's 21.7, 22.3, something like that.
okay.
And
what's in that fund now?
right this second, I can't tell you that. What we're doing with it, which wasn't being done before, but I told Roberta, we're gonna open a savings account at the South Dakota Savings Bank. And every month, when the water bills and all that stuff come in, we're gonna take out $10.68 from all those accounts and stick it in that savings account, where it will probably draw 0.2% interest. But then, when it comes, we will transfer that into the checking account and pay it out of that.
But where is it now then? Is it
Right now,
all just
it's-
going into the general fund, or where is it
No,
going?
It's in a savings account.
It's in, we have it, the point, I don't exactly tell you where it goes, but I know we have it separated on the computer. You have your water, you have your regular sewer, and you have your special assessment. And it hasn't been being kept track of like it probably should have been for the last 2 or 3 years, since we started. So,
We're at 5 or 6.
yeah, so we're going to set that part, and when the new one, whatever that rate happens to be, we're gonna put that in the same account. So that's our sewer revolving fund account, so we'll know what that is. And then that way we'll be able to make those payments as they come due out of that money. And instead of just writing the check for $21,000 and then figuring out where, going through and then adjusting the sewer and the water and all this stuff, it'd be much easier if we just put it in one account. Now, we're not obligated to do that, but for me personally, I will feel a lot better when we do that, so that it's here.
Why can't we have an account that draws interest?
Well, we can, it's just that, the interest they pay in now is.
I know it's next to nothing, but it's better than.
Yeah, so we'll put it in a savings account, and we'll draw some interest on what it is, and keep it that way, but that's way, so it's,
So do you know for sure that you've got enough money to cover that from this
Yes.
increase then, if it hasn't been separated out and tracked?
we made the first payment, and we'll make the second payment. We're probably going to, there's some money now that's sort of in the checking account, and saving, that we'll take and we'll transfer that, $10.68 from every month since the fiscal year starts. So when we get to December, we'll have enough. We should have probably now, if we would just put it in there, not quite half of what we need to make that payment, because we had some left from last year. Because we instituted the $10.68 a month before the loan was closed, so that we had some in there, so we got a little bit of a head start on it. They told me that this whole, if our loan was $450,000, which it won't be, then we'd have to raise it almost 16%, make it $16 a month. There's not going to be that much. In fact, they told us that when we did that pro forma form, it's going to have to be 12% this year and then 12% next year. But that has to be figured on the maximum amount you can borrow. And we're probably the $291,196. So let's say 200. The bids came in at about say $500,000 instead of they anticipated them being more than about 650. So if you take 300,000 from that amount, then our loan is going to be on about 250 instead of 400. So, but we don't know that yet. And you could sit down and figure it out mathematically, but then they're going to charge you, because we're going to have to pay a lawyer to tell us, yep, you can pay this now. But all that's figured into the grant as far as that goes. Any other questions? Yes, Paul?
I have kind of a odd question. How many people actually are on the sewer and took the water and sewer?
It's about 167, 68.
Well, what you need for the total amount for each year for the payment, you need to divide that into the number that is due. And divide it by 12, that's what you're gonna have to.
Yeah, that's how they came up with the first amount.
Okay.
And then we do, and that's what we'll do this time.
Okay.
As far as doing that. But we have some people on our water that aren't on our sewer. I know some of them out Polk Street out this way. They have a septic tank, some of the ones that are farther out there. I'm the only one in town does. The only one I know of in town that still has a septic tank, which when we sell that house on Hickory Street, they'll have to hook up to the, they're hooked up to the sewer, they're just hooked up to city water.
They're not hooked
Yeah.
up to the water.
But they'll have to do that.
So they'd have to hook the sewer, everybody should be.
Yeah, they're on sewer now, but when they ran the water back to the other one, she didn't want to pay that. It's only about 12 feet from, so whoever buys that house will have to hook on the city water.
I have one more process type question. So I may have missed it, although I doubt it, but when did the council actually get to see the budget and approve the budget to set the public hearing and then set the public hearing. Did I miss a meeting or
Yes, you did.
did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had our budget work session that we were here.
I understand you had a work session. I was here.
Yeah, and that was,
Yeah.
it. And then that was the budget we presented to get done. And
Yeah.
then, I don't remember exactly when everybody got their copies, but,
But when was the meeting where the council actually got to ask their own questions about the budget
that
and
was,
approve the
we
budget?
did that at the work session. And they have the questions tonight.
But you don't vote to approve anything at a work session, Bill.
We didn't,
We didn't.
we didn't.
Okay.
We had a meeting following the work session, didn't we?
I believe we did, we brought it up, but the thing is that
I don't know for sure, but.
nothing's been approved until we vote tonight on the resolution to approve the budget. That's why we made some of these changes at $3,000 with it. So once that goes into effect, we have to enter it in the computer and some of these numbers are going to change. $3,000 but not good.
Okay. So, yeah, so tonight you're adopting the budget, is that
Yes,
right?
By resolution, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I still don't, I'll talk to you later because I still don't think you understand.
I understand what you're saying, but this is my 4th or 5th year here, and this is the way it's been done the other times I was here. We had the workshop, the budget was printed, was presented, then we got together at this meeting and approved it or talked about it, those kind of things. But we did not have another separate moving. We can approve the budget
You
until
can-
tonight.
Yeah, you can approve it and then vote for a public hearing, which, and that's the segment that I'm trying to
The
clarify.
public hearing had to be done at a certain time, which, when we got the information, we put it in the paper, so
Yep.
it would be done that time. And we had our work copies of the budget, what it's going to be. And then we actually did have to send it out and have Bernie do it again, because he sent us a copy that was not correct. I mean, it's just all, he just had to change some of the numbers, and so we can do that. We have this tonight, so we can get it to the auditor before the 15th. Any other questions? All right, I will entertain a motion to close this hearing.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Second,
I will second.
motion made and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Since I learned to know how to names, I'm going to say nay. All right, roll call. We're going to go into our budget meeting. DeWild,
Here.
Chisholm,
Present.
Thompson,
Here.
McSperrin,
Here.
Mitchell.
Here.
You're gonna start writing those names down for me, because everyone I got to have to think, so they don't confuse it. All right, meeting call to order. Anybody, which that was what?
January 20th.
January 20th. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna appoint a new cemetery board member. They had one resign.
Yes.
And so the Boyd Britton, the other one is from the county, but I believe it resigned.
The only one that's resigned.
All right. But they need another person, and they're presenting Boyd Britton as the new cemetery board member. Do I hear?
I'll make a motion to appoint Boyd Britton as the cemetery board member.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. No, all those opposed, nay. I'm gonna have to try to get that. All right, appoint a new library board member. We thought we had one, and then when we read the ordinances carefully, we lived in the wrong county. Close, but just some others. So they've want to appoint Steve Angelese. Now,
Anglesey.
Anglesey, how do you know how to spell that?
I can guess.
Well, that's what I did. Anglesey.
I'll find out before I say it.
Yes,
What is his name?
It's Stephen Anglesey.
I asked Sunny, and she said, just whatever.
think it's close to that, but is that between yours and mine, maybe we can get it?
He's way off.
I just put angle C. So, he's agreed to do it, and they need another one on there, so they have an odd number, and they need another male. And so, that one will have to be, we can approve it here, but then I have to present it to the Walpole County Supervisors. And they're supposed to sign off on it, but we have to approve it first, so I entertain a motion to appoint Steve Engel, C.
Yes. I'll make a motion to appoint Stephen Engels to the library board.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
And I'll vote.
Seconded. Is there any other discussion?
Is he live in the county or?
Yeah, he
town?
lives in the city, I believe.
He lives actually close to Chillicothe.
Oh, does he?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, but he's in the county.
Yes, he's in the county. He's
Okay,
in the
he's
fire.
not on the other side of the,
Not on the other side of the river.
Nope.
yes. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right.
So are you gonna appoint Boyd then too? Was
Yeah.
Boyd
it-
to the cemetery.
Yes.
And Steve to the,
Did you make a motion and vote on it? Did I
Yes.
miss that?
Yeah. She was dreaming.
yes, we did.
Our
did we?
grandkids.
Did we not? Yes, we did. Oh, that's right, you have a granddaughter, don't
Yes, I do.
you? Okay.
You have a few more, I can loan mine out to you too.
Might
A couple too.
Keep them busy.
That'll be at the patty roll and daycare. I can see it now.
I don't know.
Okay. Now we're to the point, we need a resolution, approve a resolution to adopt the budget.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
I forgot to ask, I'm sorry. So I'm just curious, because I didn't completely comprehend what I was seeing at the bottom of some of these. We will be in the black
Yes.
when this fiscal year is all said and done, right? Okay, because some of those numbers scared me.
Yeah, well, and then you have to
I've
follow,
been going back
you have to
5
follow
years.
all the way
Okay.
across to the right-hand lane.
Well, that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
follow across, and that's why I want to double
Yes,
check.
we will be.
Okay, I want to make sure I was reading it right then.
I'm going back, I'm back 5 years, and I started in 2011, 2012, and I'm going through every receipt again and starting all over to see if I can get pinpointed where we're at,
Okay.
so.
But yeah, it's,
I'm just a-
Bless your heart.
Yes, it's trying.
so yeah, the fund balance in the beginning was, last year, I believe it began at $56,000, and this year was about 24. Next year, we're going to be in the black. As far as that goes.
Okay.
We still don't spend money we don't have. You know, I mean, sometimes I wonder, if you don't got it, you don't spend it.
Well, that's what worries me. I don't want to
Yeah.
spend money you don't have.
All right. This is resolution 16.3.7. Because we only have one resolution, so we don't have to put a dot one behind it. But since it's on the agenda as a dot one, we're going to make it as a dot. Okay. So I entertain a motion to approve resolution, the budget resolution 16.3.7.1.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bob Chisholm, just missed it, Ryan. We're going to vote, and then we're going to do a roll call, okay? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. All right. DeWild?
Here. Aye.
No.
I always get it wrong. I need a sign. You need to put a little sign up.
Now I don't feel so bad.
Chisholm?
Aye.
Thompson?
Aye.
McSperrin?
Aye.
Mitchell?
Aye.
Okay. Budget resolution 16.3.7.1 is passed. I know everyone's gonna hate this, but that's all we got on the agenda. So I would entertain a motion
Happy Monday.
that we adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
No.
All right, motion to adjourn is carried out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Get that right.